Yo, what is up? Hey, as we all know, the Los Angeles Lakers have defeated the Miami Heat in 6 games of the NBA Finals, and they're the NBA champions of the world. Hey, kudos and congrats to LeBron James racking up his 4th Finals MVP and his 4th championship all time. And of course to Anthony Davis, 1st championship all time in his 1st season with the Los Angeles Lakers. A lot to talk about. I'm going to give a quick overview. This is just a quick reaction, kind of what I saw from the game. The Lakers blew out the Heat. The Heat pretty much, I don't know how or why, they just pretty much just gave up. Their body language wasn't there at the end of the first quarter and then throughout the rest of the game. Gordon Dragic, I know he could only play somewhat of the first game and 6th game. But hey, I'm glad for him that he got some minutes out there, and I know he was hurting inside, but it is what it is. Jimmy Butler, he only had 12 points this game. His body was sore, pretty much playing 47 minutes. For the Game 5, that historic performance. But with the LA Lakers, after losing Game 5 to the Mamba jerseys, they would come back and definitely reach back with their team. And Frank Vogel was a great leader for them to come back and win it. So the Lakers won the game in great fashion in Game 6, and now they're NBA champions of the world. Now, as we all know, there's a lot of people who are saying this is one of the greatest championships of, how hard it was. And then there's other people on the other side saying, hey, there's an asterisk. This was a cakewalk, blah, blah, blah. Listen, don't get into that yada, yada, yada nonsense. This was a great championship for LeBron James. This was his 3rd franchise. This was his 4th championship all time. And LeBron James has won 4 championships in, I think, the last 9 years, 9 or 10, somewhere going around there. So we all know, based on this, LeBron has another 3 to 4 years that he can play, maybe even longer, depending on how he wants to switch things up. So LeBron James is now playing point guard for the rest of his season and his career, and pretty much he can rack up a season high assist like he's been doing the regular season. But we all knew with the LA Lakers, some people said objectively, some people said based on Kobe Bryant passing away. I've always stated my stances on a couple of other videos. A lot of things were kind of fishy. Everything was pointed out for the LA Lakers, for them in this situation. Now, going towards next year, they're going to have to look out towards the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors, because the league pretty much is going to be pretty deep as it comes across to it. In the Western Conference, you're still going to have the Jazz, the Blazers, the Warriors coming back. You have the Clippers, the Lakers are still there, the Nuggets, the Rockets. I mean, it's still packed, but if you're the Lakers, you're still over that heads over a heel. You're on a different tier when it comes to these other teams, so which is good. And LeBron could take down any stacked teams in the Western Conference like he did this season. And in the Eastern Conference, again, you're going to have the Bucks, you're going to have the Nets, the 76ers, the Celtics, the Heat again. I don't know about the Raptors, but other teams in that mix as well. So it's going to be crazy out there how they're going to go against these different teams and play it off with. I don't want to hear any of that nonsense that this Lakers championship was super duper easy, yada, yada, yada. Listen, this was the hardest 1st and 2nd round matchups LeBron James had ever had to face in his whole career. And tough for any other superstar. I mean, you're going across and against the Portland Trail Blazers, one of the greatest 8 seeds pretty much that I've seen in a while. You know why? Because you had a red-hot Damian Lillard, who was an MVP of the bubble. Their team should have been a 4th or 5th seed this season, but when it came down to it, you had Nurkic, you had Collins, and their bigs that were hurt. So the Blazers even won Game 1. We had different people saying that the Blazers could take down the Lakers. People were really disrespecting the LeBron and the Lakers, so I don't want to hear any of that cakewalk nonsense. LeBron and the crew did their business. Series number 2, the Rockets. A lot of people said the Rockets could take down the Lakers. ESPN even had the Rockets as favorites, like 60% or something like that. And after winning Game 1, they kept on yada, yada, yada. And then the Lakers handled their business. And then came down forward towards the Nuggets. That was... Some people had the Nuggets. Everyone pretty much kind of knew the Lakers would win that series. And then the Lakers and Heat, it was 50-50. I had a lot of people, and there's people on ESPN saying that the Heat would win that in 6 and 7. And then there were some who said the Lakers. So this was not a cakewalk. LeBron handled his business. He averaged around 30 points these finals, close to a triple-double. He had like 8 rebounds. I think he had around 11 assists. Crazy numbers in these finals, 30, 11, and 9. Anthony Davis averaged around 27 points, and he was real dominant the first 2 games. But hey, give kudos to KCP, Contavious Caldwell-Pope. He was very consistent these finals. The regular season wasn't the case in the beginning. He was bullied by Lakers fans and all that, but he really turned it around. He was amazing. Playoff Rondo is a real thing. I've always stated Rondo should start for the Lakers this season in the playoffs. That wasn't the case, but they still got it done with, and so he's amazing. I've always loved Rondo on that team with them. Another playmaker that can get people like Kuzma, KCP some shots and cutters out there. Alex Caruso, he's a dog, man. He's great defensively for the team that you can rely on. And when it comes down to it, even Danny Green even showed up for Game 6. Quite a few. This Laker team, chemistry-wise, was off the charts throughout the season. That's why another reason why I had them favorites to win the championship. They just look like as a core and a unit, and I've always seen that with them. Even with Jared Dudley as one of the 14, 15 guys off the bench and the 15-man roster, he's a great veteran presence. Same thing picking up Dwight Howard. Everyone was focused on the LeBron James team to win a championship. And even, hey, you got J.R. Smith. LeBron brought J.R. Smith the second NBA championship. It was funny, LeBron or J.R. even took off his shirt, and he was, it gave me flashbacks from 2016. So amazing, feature when it comes down to it. Amazing accomplishment for the Lakers. 17 NBA championships all time, tying the Boston Celtics. And LeBron, his 4th NBA championship. Oh, man, it's a crazy, crazy accomplishment seeing things go down. This is his 3rd different team. That's wild. There's going to be GOAT talks about him and Michael Jordan. I'll make another video going a little more deeper in my top all-time rankings and LeBron James, how this championship kind of affects my list and kind of the reasoning and all that. But the Lakers are here to stay. Anthony Davis is 27 years in his prime, entering, or at least, and you have LeBron James mentoring around with him, and him being dominant and consistent. The Lakers have a very good case to go back-to-back, and I've always stated in another video, they could go for a three-peat. They got the resources, they got the foundation, they got the star players, which is a great experience for them. But for LeBron James, 3 different chips, 3 different franchises, 4 championships all time. He's going to turn 36 in December. With the Lakers, he's got at least 2 more years. I don't know if maybe he'll win 6 championships, then he'll retire and hang it up by then. But, man, his career and his legacy, how he just keeps building and building. If you're a hater, man, you got to shut up because this is ridiculous. And even though there's a lot out there. But this is an amazing team. I've always loved their chemistry. And I think the Lakers, they had a pretty good roster. I still think that they have a lot more potential with filling in different players of their team and what they could have been. They were a nice team. The great chemistry, of course. Great duo of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But I actually expect more from them. I actually expect in 2021, this next following season, I think it will be resembled to a 2013 Miami Heat with LeBron James. I think they're going to take it to another level. And I would love to see the Lakers go against either the Nets in the finals. I think most likely we're probably going to see the Boston Celtics go against them since they're both tied at 17. I know the NBA likes to play along with those type of things. But let's see what happens. Hey, kudos to LeBron James. Amazing feature and accomplishment towards him. 4 championships. And him and Michael Jordan are the only ones with 4 finals MVPs or above. So he's in a different class when it comes down to it. I've always stated the Lakers win the chip. If you guys have been following the channel, just keep watching the videos. I've been consistent. So I'm down, and I'm still going to make videos about the offseason, the 2021 season, picks, predictions, all that. I'm excited. Let's do it.